Welcome back to Commercial Finance and Experts Academy. My name is Suach Ron. Today I want to take you to the next step after you've achieved the client connection and you've got all the documents that we need to get the file going. You're able to get all the purchase agreement, all the disclosure, all the lease agreement, and anything else you may need. If this is a purchase, you would have already got all those items, particularly in regards to the leases, to make sure that they're all valid and have all been renewed, or at least it should be renewed if it's already passed. If it's month to month, take care of that. So what do you do now? Now that you have all the information in front of you, what do you want to sort through? First thing you probably want to have a look at is sort through the financial statements. So the review process is what I call it. So you need to sort through the financial statements. Notice to read it, review engagement or whatever accounting financial you got, sum of T2, etc., and the leases. So the financial statement would show at least get the rent rolls. If these were property that have leases in them, make sure that the rent rolls reflect all the leases. Are the leases update? Yes. Are the leases month to month? Are the leases triple net or are they gross? Right? Find out how it looks, because then you would need this for the appraisal part. The appraisers will want to have a look at it and they will determine whether that's over market value or below market value when the appraiser comes back later, when you can look at it before you justify it with the lender. Yes, sometimes I send out a loan request after I create an executive summary. Depends on the numbers are strong or not. If they're not strong, I'd rather wait for the appraiser to come back, because I probably won't be able to get financing much, or at least give an idea of how much we could get. If they are market rents and the realtors have already qualified that these are decent numbers, they're not overpriced with the rents or undervalued with the rents, right? So this is what we have already in place. The other one is confirm who are the directors of the company, right? There's a couple things you need to do. Directors of the company, is the company active? This is going to be a problem. If the company is not active, I've had a scenario where we got everything done, financing is about to go through, and the bank went and checked. The accountant, whoever did the financial statements and all that in the past, for some reason, put the blame on the lawyer, that the lawyer is supposed to be responsible for doing the annual updates for the BC Corporate Online, and for some reason it was not done for 2 years in a row, so therefore they docked it off of the registry, so now it became inactive, and no lender will advance any loans if the company is not in good standing. So make sure this is active and in good standing. They haven't had any good standing. Make sure that they haven't had anything that's owing, any annual report that has not been filed. The annual report needs to be filed every year. It is pretty inexpensive. I believe it's less than $65, somewhere around there. Every province is different, but make sure the directors are on there, and they're not just shareholders, because shareholders don't really need to be on the loan itself. It's only the directors of the company, right? This is jiving, and then you have this information already. Then the next step you would have to do is look at the overall scenario and find out which lender would be ideal for them. And then you can create a summary around that. I will go to the summary on the next video. But the third one would be, I would call it pre-qualified. Which lender? Right? Meaning what? Well, for instance, what kind of property is this? What kind of business is in them? Right? If these are mixed property, for example, if it's residential upstairs and commercial below, the big banks typically, they're not very aggressive at these. they rather have individual commercial or individual multi-unit, not mixed. They don't like it. There's a couple of reasons being. One is a tenancy law, the other one is business law. So if the worst case scenario ever comes into effect and they have to put in foreclosure, they don't like to deal with that. So I like to pre-qualify the type of property they are to determine which way I should go in the future, so that I can do the right out, tailored towards those type. If it's going to be credit union, then I'm getting, okay, credit unions probably like mixed use because it's more community driven. Usually some residents live upstairs, so it's part of the community. And the business downstairs usually caters to that local community. So credit unions are more in favor of these type of mixed use property. Now, on the other hand, if you come across an industrial property, chances are credit unions, they're okay, but they're not fond of it, right? And the banks don't care. It's a business. It's strictly 100% warehousing, strictly, import-export business, then they're fine with it. And it's a straightforward deal. The big bank can handle it. They're not afraid of those things. It's a normal business. They don't have to do or deal with tenancy branch. They're happy doing that, right? So these are the first 3 steps. The first 3 with the stumbling block. These 3 could be potential stumbling blocks depending on what the numbers look like and what type of property they are, right? So don't go to the wrong lender, pre-qualifying them by going to the wrong lender at the beginning because the property doesn't match. If this was a pub, for instance, if there's a pub, meaning that most of the liquor and alcohol is consumed in there to get the loan, then the financial shows that there's less, say less than 20% of it comes from food, and over 50% come from liquor sales. I guarantee you, credit unions will not like this. So the pre-qualifying stage will tell you, credit union, not a good idea with these type of property. Okay, so that's a tip of the day for you. If the financials do not reflect the rent roll for some reason, find out why. What's going on here? Did they pocket some cash? Was there a big change in the tenant in the previous year or the recent year? Because the rent rolls should come close to what the nose to read of financial statements look like. Unless there's a lot of expense right off that personal expense that they put into the holding company. It happens. I've seen it before. Right? They're not supposed to do it, yeah, but the accountants can't do nothing about that. Anyhow, there are a lot of these. I go into a lot more details in my commercial financing fast check course, where I go through a ton of homework as well, and basically we use a worksheet to go through them. This is the surface level, so you understand what I go through in detail. And each one of them takes a little bit of time, a good half an hour to an hour to discuss even this section, even more. Right? So hope you got something out of the video today. And if you have a question, just put a comment below or just email me, sue@sharingbanksecrets.com. And for those who are curious and interested to learn more about commercial financing, check out commercialfinancingmastery.com. If you'd like to talk about anything particular topic down the road as well, email me or just put a comment in and I'll check my YouTube channels every now and then. Take care, have a good day.